Welcome to another episode of I'm Dying to Tell You. This is Dr. Mark Goulston, facing mortality with you and sharing with you what it's teaching me. And as far as mortality goes, it seems to be a moving target. Some days it seems like I'm going to be around for a good long time, and other days it seems like it's going to be much shorter. And I want to share something with you that and it came from a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the difference between acceptance and surrender. Acceptance and surrender. And acceptance seems to be letting something in, whereas surrender seems to be letting go of something. And I realized that by accepting my mortality, whenever it happens, I'm actually feeling more alive. Whereas if I surrendered, it would be letting go of living. And I think I'd feel less alive. And so people seem to be intrigued by how I'm dealing with this. And I think if someone were to ask me today, I'd say I'm much more accepting of it. And it's helping me not only to feel alive, but it's teaching me things. And when I realized that I was accepting my mortality, I had this realization that death is not something that's happening to me, or dying is not something that's happening to me. It's happening for me. So dying is not happening to me. It's happening for me. And by for me, it's teaching me all this stuff that I get to share with all of you. And I really wish that I knew it much earlier in my life. And you can learn it much earlier. So when you look at adversity, when you look at a defeat, when you look at a failure, if you take a point of view, oh, this failure happened to me, you're going to feel like a victim. You're going to feel powerless. You're not going to feel very resilient. But if you look at failure as something that's happening for you, oh, good, this is my chance, if I don't make it worse, to become smarter, to become more resilient, to become tougher. And I wouldn't become those things if failure didn't happen. So if you can look at failure and mistakes as something that's happening for you, which can often stave off your plummeting, oh my God, I failed, it's a mistake, I'm a loser, then think of what your life would be. Yeah, it's great to succeed, but success doesn't necessarily make you stronger or more resilient or necessarily smarter or tougher. Failure does that. So if you can think of these things that now seem negative to you, oh, why is this happening to me? And you can think of a lot of things that occur all over the place: divorce, getting fired, losing a job, closing down your company, pretty rough stuff. But if you can look at it as something that if you just persevere and you just don't plummet and you can't pick yourself up or just keep on going, all of those, if you look at it as happening for you, are going to be the keys to a life that's better than you could imagine. So I hope you found that helpful. It's certainly helpful to me. And thanks again for tuning into another episode of I'm Dying to Tell You, and to be continued.